Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Michael here, Deeper States Mind and Deeper States Mind and Wellness. It's 9:02. I want to try to get something done real quick. I want to put myself on another phone so that I can actually see what I'm doing and make sure that everybody's coming through. Hope everybody's doing really well tonight. As you well know, it is busy, busy, busy right now for everybody. Halloween's coming up, so if you have kids, you know you're getting ready to take your kids trick or treating. That'll be awesome and really cool. Um, I know that a lot of you have a lot going on as far as like school and everything else. I know that my students are really stressing right now. I guess it's a busy time as well. But I wanted to welcome you guys and just kind of spend a little bit of time. Let's talk about weight loss today. And I'm getting tons of questions. People keep asking me, and I've lost 77 pounds total. So people keep asking me, well, what are you doing to lose weight? How are you doing to lose weight? What's going on with you? Are you not eating anything? I'm not exactly where I want to be right now, but I'm going there. So I'm working on that. So the progression is coming along. So I'm at 172 right now. My ideal weight, I should say, the weight I want to get to is 170. I've had some doctors tell me that it's not. I should be between 175 and 180. But I feel much better at 170. I look better at 170, and that's what I'm pushing myself to do is to reach 100, the 170. Um, so tonight I want to talk a little bit about some ideas, what it is you can do to help yourself through this weight loss program. And I hate to even call it weight loss. Let's take that apart first. If you guys are following me right now on Facebook, Instagram, on Facebook or YouTube, any one of our Facebook pages, actually, we're streaming to all of them tonight and to YouTube. You're welcome to go ahead and just do the link that's shown down below at streamyard.com/Facebook. That'll give you the opportunity to go ahead and lock on to this. Then what'll happen is you'll be able to send messages through the comments, through the chats, and I'll be able to see them. And then some of you, if you want, I can bring you on. We can discuss that. But I have a little bit of an agenda today as far as what it is I'm going to talk about and what ideas I can give you as far as releasing weight and what are things that have worked for me, right? So I've done a lot of processes for weight loss with myself, from every diet you could ever imagine. And a friend of mine was talking to me the other day, actually, I think it was a client, was telling me, she's tried everything and nothing's worked. And for me, it was intermittent fasting. And I've done everything in the past. Intermittent fasting changed who I was based on my mental capacity of what I could handle based on the hypnosis that I was feeding myself. And if that doesn't make a lot of sense to you, I'll clear that up a little bit. So, what you believe is what you conceive, right? And weight loss is sometimes releasing excess weight is really difficult sometimes. Nobody wants to lose anything. And that was one thing I found that would happen a lot to me was that when I felt like I was losing weight, I would hit a certain point where I would just all of a sudden say, the hell with this, I can't do it anymore. And just start to eat. I'd overconsume. And that cycle went on for a long, long time. For me, and I know that some of you who have seen me before, we talk about there has to be a pivotal moment, right? There has to be some leverage that you can use to better yourself. For me, the leverage was I got diagnosed with diabetes. And I was told that I was just type 2 diabetic, and it shocked me. It scared me because my mother died of diabetes complications. So that kind of gave me an idea. It gave me an incentive, right, to make change, but it still wasn't strong enough. So for me, the incentive was not even strong enough to know that my mom died of diabetes complications and that I had just been diagnosed with diabetes. So what I started doing was I started kind of understanding more about me and my emotions. So I think emotions are a huge part of weight loss. If you don't deal with the emotions, and hypnotherapy helped me do that. Hypnotherapy went in and it went in and we uncovered processes inside of me that were not working towards releasing excess weight because I had emotional connections to them. I think most of us do out there, right? I just met somebody today that's having emotional connections and going through, it's kind of screwing up life and not living life to the fullest that person wants to be living. And that's the same thing with when I was trying to release excess weight. Is that, if I was not achieving that, I didn't know why or didn't know what was going on. And as we start going through therapy with the NLP practitioner I was working with, he was helping me understand and kind of unravel the thread that had those emotions wrapped in it. But I want to talk a little bit about foods tonight. I'm going to talk about things you can do. People ask me, are you working out? Are you lifting weights? Are you at the gym? You must be at the gym every day. I'm not. Actually, I'm not. And the food that I eat is no different than I was eating before. Quantities are much less. And with the fasting process, you only have 2 meals a day. I go 16 hours without eating when I sleep, right? Then I all the way up until noon. Noon is my first meal, and that's when I break my fast. And then my last meal is at 8 p.m. That's all I've been doing. And I work out occasionally. It's so hard for me to say that because I work out, but not all the time. I work out probably 3 days a week when I'm able to. Otherwise, one thing I try to do is I walk my dogs in the morning, and that's been kind of lacking off a little bit too. The busier we get, the busier things life becomes and the harder it becomes. But I'll tell you that with just the intermittent fasting, I've still continued releasing excess weight. And what I've had to do is really modify what I eat. So I don't eat tons of carbohydrates. I don't eat tons of sugar. I eat some carbs. I modify my carbohydrates. So sometimes I'll do pasta that is like, instead of being regular wheat pasta, it ends up being like either zoodles or something like that. I make a substitute for it, right? Or white, what do they call that? White rice, which is the cauliflower rice. So I make options like that. That helps. One thing I'm going to talk about is kind of some of the things that I've been doing that I do for myself. So they always tell you, eat plenty of fruit, eat plenty of fruit. Even when I became diabetic, they were saying, oh, you can eat all the fruit you want. But then they tell you later, you can eat all the fruit you want as long as it's in moderation. You can't have a bunch. So when I first became diabetic, I must have had maybe 3 slices of watermelon because I love watermelon and the sugars just got spiked out through the roof. Some people say, bananas are great. You can eat bananas. You can eat apples. I tend to not do that. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if I want to go out and I want to enjoy something, a piece or something for dessert, like let's say a little piece of chocolate, or maybe I want to enjoy like even a Snickers bar, right? I don't do that often, but I'd rather utilize my calorie intake based on that than utilize it on every day that I'm having a piece of candy here, a piece of candy there, a piece of candy there. I'll tell you, I had a client that just had candy in her office, and that became her crutch. So it was really hard to get her off of that. So if you're gonna have fruit, I mean, have very little fruit. Do like an apple every 2-3 weeks. Bananas I found that are good. I love them, but they spike your insulin level. And the key when you're doing fasting is to not spike the insulin level or any kind of weight loss. I'm telling you, anything you do for weight loss, your key is to not spike not spike your sugars. Because when you spike your sugars, then your body doesn't really burn them, especially if you're not burning a lot of calorie. So what happens is your body holds on to that and it becomes fat. Vegetables, I love vegetables. Add them into your plate. Start making more vegetables and less meat, right? To start making your meat to be a piece about this big. Or if you're going to do chicken, do like 3 or 4 drumsticks, all right? Or do a chicken breast. Modify that out and put more vegetables into it. Because remember, you have to be able to sustain yourself until the next fasting period. So from noon until 5, you need to be able to sustain that time without having anything else until your 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. dinner time. So lots of vegetables. Increase your vegetable intake. Um, you kind of want to try to get at least 5 of those a day. And I don't mean like it doesn't have to be 5 full vegetables with dinner, right? You can have something as you go on throughout the day. What I like to do and what I really enjoy, a big tip for you guys, I love to buy cucumbers. I love cucumbers with just a little bit of salt on them. And there occasionally when I'm like hungry, like I'll snack like let's say I've had dinner and I'm like just hitting that time where it was almost bedtime. I'm like, oh my god, I still have another 20 minutes of fast of eating. I'll go ahead and I'll just get an entire cucumber and I'll just add a little bit of salt and I'll eat the entire thing. Satiates my hunger, gets me through the night, and it pushes me into the next day. And then I rarely feel like I have to have food before I break my fast. It does happen. And many of you know, I've talked to many of you that if you're going to be fasting, it's so important that if you get stuck or if you start to slow down a little bit, it's important that you start actually take either a 24-hour or 48-hour fast. Fast yourself out, bring yourself back in. It recycles your system and puts you back on track. Lots of wonderful vegetables. Vegetables, they're low in calories. Again, what I want to get back into and reiterate to you is if you're eating a lot of fruit, you're not going to lose weight. Okay, you're not. You're just not. It's a healthy sugar. It's a great sugar, but your body still it has to burn that, has to process it. And again, if you're not getting exercise, I would stick to berries, um, strawberries, blackberries, raspberries, blueberries. Stick to any of your berry fruit. it burns different. It's not going to burn as fast in your system, and you're going to be able to process it much quicker, and it's not going to stick to your body. It's not going to turn into fat as quickly as it does if it's a berry. It just has less sugar, right? Um, get active. And the key to losing weight is to be active and to keep it off long term. I'll tell you that is that if I didn't go to the gym and I didn't walk my dogs in the morning, I think during the pandemic I would have gained a lot more than 20 pounds. Everybody says, "Oh my God, I got 10 pounds COVID pounds," right? They're not COVID pounds; they're 10 pounds, and you got to get them off. Or for me, I got 20. But it took me about 4 months, and now I'm back down to, I said, close to 172. I need to get back to 170, and I will. Um, exercise. If you're not a gym rat, I'm not going to make you go to the gym, because you know what? You're going to hate it. If you're a swimmer, I would have you go to the gym and swim. Or if you have a pool, I'd have you swim every single day, 20, 30 minutes. And the easiest thing that you can do that really, really helps a lot of people, helps everybody, is to just walk. Walk in the morning. Early in the morning is always the best time to exercise. You guys ask me over and over again, what's the best time to exercise? Exercise in the morning, because the morning your body just wakes up, your metabolism's slow. You start to exercise, you're going to speed up that metabolism. Your body's going to start to burn. You don't have calorie intake in you. So what's happening is you're going into ketosis if you're fasting, and your body's going to start to use the fat around your muscles. So you get fairly toned. It's kind of cool. You start noticing you lose your gut. You start to notice you lose your neck area, and you start to notice that you kind of lose your arms a little bit, and then your thighs. I always tell my clients, the really coolest thing was that I finally hit a point where my thighs weren't rubbing together anymore in the shower. And that was like massive for me. I was like, oh my God, that's so weird, right? So you'll notice little things like that. But get more active. And if it means not going to a gym, if it means not playing tennis, if it means not doing that kind of activity, go for a walk every day. It's the easiest thing you can do for 20, 30 minutes. It helps you burn the fat. And the big thing is that you know how a lot of people that lose a lot of weight end up really saggy. One thing I'll tell you is that it helps with that sagginess, and it helps from you. I was at 230 pounds. So it helps with your skin. So it's pliable. It's the elasticity of your skin is coming back little by little, as opposed to losing, 75, 85 pounds in the matter of, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. And that's what happens when you do the gastric bypass. That's why a lot of the times that all that fat has to be removed surgically. So keep that in mind. Okay. Make an activity that you enjoy. And if you don't enjoy anything, go for a walk. Make it a daily routine that you get up, you go for a walk in the morning, you come back and you start your day. And I'll tell you, the working out in the morning is really big, because I like to embed in my clients with hypnosis that when they wake up in the morning, invigorated, excited, and I get them to feel this need to go for a walk. The moment they get for the walk, I don't have a shower or anything. Just get up, go for a walk. Now, one thing I embed in there is that you've accomplished one big thing, right? I mean, you've accomplished one thing that you're able to say, oh my gosh, I did the hardest thing of my life, because I'm working on releasing excess fat and excess weight. I'm getting healthy. And that has been so hard for my entire life until today, because I woke up this morning, I went for my walk, and I was able to release excess fat. You come back, you feel good too. 30 minutes out on a walk, you come back, you're going to feel invigorated. You're going to feel like, oh my God, I'm ready to go with my day. I've done one hard thing today. The rest of this is going to be easy. So it works really well. Even when my clients are who are having depression, the key is to get them to feel good about themselves, whether it's the small things or the big things, and compliment yourself for those, because I'm telling you, nobody else is going to compliment you for those things. Internalize what you need for yourself, and explode with it. Show it, feel it, do it, express it, walk it, run it, do what you got to do, but know that you're doing the weight loss only for yourself. Yeah, you're going to look good. People are going to compliment you constantly. But the thing is are you doing for somebody else? You're doing it for you. I really want you to do this for you. All right. Tell yourself, I am doing this because I need to be healthy. I want to live a long time for my children, grandchildren. I want to live a long time, to spend the rest of my money so that I don't die and somebody else gets my money and goes, and who knows what they do with it. Right. I mean, take good care of yourself. Eat high fiber foods. Foods containing lots of fiber can help you feel full longer. If you are a snacker and I have you on a fasting diet, what I will do is I will recommend Konjac Root to you, which Konjac Root is a root that comes from, I believe it's coming from Africa, I think. I'm not quite sure where it comes from. But you can get it anywhere. You can find it at any health food store. Konjac root is a water soluble fiber. So when you mix it with water in a bottle of water, you drink it, it goes into your stomach and it increases. So it helps you with those hunger. So you're not eating as much during your meals, right? During your breakfast at noon or your breakfast or when you're eating your dinner meal. When you're eating those two meals, if you drink that first, it's going to fill you some. And then you're going to be able to have that opportunity to be able to be aware of what you're eating and also to feel full faster. It helps a lot. Plus, one thing they found about konjac root is it keeps your pancreas, for some odd reason, it keeps the pancreas from kicking into high gear and it slows it down a little bit. And it's really good for diabetics. Very, very good for diabetes. But anything fiber can be found in any kind of plant, spinach, fruits do have it, vegetables, oatmeal at lunch for my breakfast. Occasionally I do that. I love it. At night, sometimes instead for just, if I'm exhausted. So my roommate started doing fasting with me. I got him on board with it and he's doing well. He's losing weight, but there's sometimes where we'll break the fast early because we want to give ourselves that break. Right. So we'll have breakfast, then we'll have lunch. But because our bodies are already accustomed to only having 2 meals a day, what we find is that once you've started doing that, it's really hard to have that third meal. So sometimes we'll have a bowl of cereal and that's it. And it's perfect. It satisfies you. I go to bed not hungry. I wake up feeling good. And then I can sustain until my next 12 o'clock breaking fast. So that's a good little tip for you guys. Fiber can be found in a lot of stuff. Whole grain bread. I prefer sourdough, and I'll tell you why. Sourdough and rye burn much slower on the glycemic index. So if you're going to have bread, have a piece or we have sandwiches. So we'll have a sandwich for lunch. That's 2 pieces of bread. We just make sure it's usually sourdough or rye because it's going to slow down the burn of the bread, and it's going to be used as energy as opposed to turning into fat as quick. But you can find it in brown rice, which is great substitute for white rice if you just absolutely have to have rice. Ideally, I would say go with the right rice or the zoodles or something like that because I just not a big fan on rice. I mean, it's okay if I'm going to go have Chinese food. I mean, my roommate and I will buy a two choices, right? With the rice and also with the noodles, and we split that, and it's perfect. It's a perfect amount of food. All right. So if you're still hungry after that, tell yourself, okay, now maybe I need to have some blackberries or blueberries to sustain myself because I would not recommend that you try to eat more food. I recommend that you fill yourself up. Maybe have a salad if you're still starving. But the key is going to be to condition your body not to be eating so much and not to be craving so many in between meals, right? Um, you can also find that in beans, any kind of beans, peas, lentils, kidney beans. Stay away from, if you're going to have like chili, I would recommend you make it at home. Just because if you go in and you look at the chilies that are on the market, any of those chilies on the shelves have got so much sugar. You really, really have to watch that a lot. I mean, look, how many times do you go out and, even ketchup has tons of sugar in it. Read your labels, okay? Read all the food labels. Knowing how to read a food label can help you choose healthier options. It's going to help you say, and pick up the can, look at it. If it has 10 grams of sugar, that's a lot. If it has 2 grams of sugar, shit, you can take it. You have that because the 2 grams of sugar your body's going to burn through. All right. Watch your daily calorie intake. I don't do that. But I've been fasting. You got to remember, I've been fasting for about 7, 8 years now. So for me, I no longer have that need to be like just shoving myself full until I'm full because now it takes much less to fill me. As you go through the fasting process, your stomach's going to get small. It should be about this big. A lot of times what happens is our stomach is huge. We have stomachs this big, and the more you stuff it, it fills, right? It fills and you really never get full. So it's important to make sure that you plan that out and read your food labels. Stay away from high caloric foods. Stay away from foods that have tons of sugar. All right. Let's see here. use smaller plates. This is a great one. I had a client that she was like, I eat really healthy. And she did. She ate very healthy. But instead of having a meal portion, she'd have like 4 meal portions, right? And remember, it is at the end of the day, it's calories in, calories out. I mean, if you're not doing anything to burn calories, you're not going to get rid of those calories. They're going to stay within your body, and you're going to be suffering through that process. It's like, oh my God, I overate. I'm not losing weight. Part of it is your sizes. So use a smaller plate, right? Instead of using a huge plate, go ahead and go to like the medium plate and use that, fill that, and then consume that. What I like to teach my clients to do is, okay, salad is really 0 points, 0 processes, right? So the calorie intake on a salad is very minimal. And you use a vinegar and oil salad dressing, or you use a light salad dressing that's not heavy, your calorie intake's not going to be that high. And you can have tons of salad. So have a huge salad and then put the other parts of your whatever your meal is and make those smaller, but always have your huge salad first. Clear broth soup is a great way to also fill yourself. And as you're using the smaller plate, you can have a clear broth soup, like chicken noodle without the noodles, or you can even have the noodles. I mean, this is the thing is, if you're intermittent fasting, have the noodles. There's not enough in there. It's going to make a huge difference, right? Smaller plates and smaller bowls can gradually, you'll get used to eating smaller portions, but you're not really getting used to eating smaller portions. What's happening is your stomach's going to start to shrink as you continue your fasting process, or any diet. Eat clean, eat green, and you become a lean machine, right? So make sure that when you're doing that, you're going in and you're actually consuming healthy foods, and stop yourself. I have clients that go to eat out every day, and they're doing lunch and dinner out because that's the kind of job they have. So if you're going to go order food, look at the menu, pick something, and then close the menu and stop for a moment and ask yourself, is that the healthiest choice I can have, or is there something better? And is there something else? We eat to live. We don't live to eat. I mean, if you're living to eat, I'm sorry for you, because that's how we get in problems, right? So eat to live, don't live to eat. It takes about 20 minutes for your stomach to tell your brain that you're full. So that's one thing I like to do is, when you're in that salad process, the salad's going to slow down that consumption a little bit. It's going to fill you up, and then you can start going in with your dinner. Eat slowly. And like within 20 minutes, you have that salad, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm kind of full. And if you are full and you feel that way, cut your meal in half, take half home immediately. Ask for a box, take half of it home so you have half for later. Then you're only eating half the amount of food. It's really difficult to lose a lot of weight. To lose weight, I should say, it's difficult to lose weight fast when you're eating out, mainly because you don't have control over what's going in that food. If it's a pasta that you're having, let's say that you're having even a lasagna, right? You're enjoying a lasagna for lunch. You cut it in half. You take a big dinner salad. They usually put brown sugar in their sauces because they want it. It has to taste good, right? A lot of salt, because if it doesn't taste good, you're not coming back. So make sure that you are. I personally would recommend you cook at home, or if you got to eat, read the menu, find something, question it, say, am I making the healthier choice? Is there a choice that's healthier on this menu that I could go after? Then go after that. Just eat with, be conscious of what you're doing, be conscious of your decisions. Don't ban food. I hate this when people are like, oh my God, I can never have chocolate again. I just won't have chocolate again, ever. Well, the unconscious mind doesn't like that, because it does feel like it's being abused. It feels like, oh my God, I can't have this. I'm this little boy who's not having this anymore. And that's bullshit, because I deserve this. I earned it. I work hard for this. So if you're going to have something, space it out. That is a treat. That's a moment of you having something that's just like perfect. It's let it satiate you and be part of your regular plan. Don't ban yourself from stuff. Banning foods only makes you crave them more, because then all you do is you think about it, right? Oh my God, that chocolate. I used to enjoy chocolate. I used to enjoy chocolate. You know, don't let yourself completely just take foods out, because you'll miss them. You'll end up failing, right? Don't stock junk food. This is the biggest thing that I had to start doing. So anytime went out grocery shopping, I used to bring home potato chips. I used to bring home candy bars. I used to bring home ice cream. I used to bring things home that I could keep for the rest of the month. And they would last me for sometimes not the month, and I go buy more. So the key is going to be that you don't stock up on junk food. Chocolates, biscuits, crisp, sweet, fuzzy drinks. Don't do sodas. I don't do. I will drink a diet soda here and there, or diet products. I'd rather you do a diet product than consume all that calorie and all that sugar. All right. We know that sugar leads to obesity, and we know that sodas, regular sodas, they have like 13 or 14 grams of sugar in them. That's a shitload of sugar. I mean, that's all it's gonna destroy your plan of releasing excess weight. Um, like even unsalted popcorn or unsweetened popcorn, either of those, fruit juice, all of those things are really, really high in glucose levels. I mean, and carbohydrates. I mean, you want to try to keep your carbs down, your sugars down. um, Alcohol, I still like a drink here and there. I love wine. Excuse me. Cut down on your alcohol. Don't I'm gonna say that. Think about this. So don't if you're gonna do wine and alcohol, it's better that if you're gonna stick to alcohol, stay to clear alcohol. Um, I'm not promoting that you drink, but if you're gonna drink alcohol, make it like vodka, make it clear drink, so that way you're mixing it with a diet Sprite or something that's gonna be less calorie intake, right? Clear liquors have less calories. Um, but don't deny yourself a drink. If you're over abusing alcohol or over abusing anything, right, it's a problem. And it's a problem because probably you're aware of it. If you're not aware of it, then you probably should be watching this, because I don't think I can really assist you a lot unless you're in a program with me, and then we'll work on the alcoholism. But if you're just a casual drinker, it's okay to have a cocktail here and there. I would make the choice, right? Think about what you like, switch it to something that's going to be a little bit healthier. Plan your meals. The greatest thing to do is to plan out what you're having. My roommate does most of the cooking. Thank him for that, because I cook when I can. It's difficult with the job I have. I'm working a lot, quite a bit. When you own your own business, you're always on the go, right? Plus my clients, I got a lot of clientele most of the time. So, I mean, when I don't, I'm catching up on all the other stuff. Like today, I had to go buy a brand new refrigerator yesterday. I had to work today. I did had one client, three clients today. So I moved them all in the morning. And what I did was I worked the rest of the day trying to get prepared for this giant refrigerator come in, and for all the mess that comes with that. So, you know, I don't have the time to sit there and prepare every meal. But I'm going to tell you that when I worked at the office, one thing I did do is I always planned my meals for the entire week. And a lot of times it would be chicken and beef. You make all the chicken in a sheet pan, cook it, roast it, right, and then take it some ground beef and put it in a pan, cook it, get it all ground, nice and brown. Make yourself food for the week. I mean, pre-plan it, set them up in the dollar store has these little trays, little compartments about this big that have a plastic lid that goes on top. You can get those and prepare your food for on Sunday night. Make it all at one time. You might get sick of chicken breast. You might get, but you know what? If you're trying to save money and you don't want to be going out to lunch every day and you want to eat healthy, prepare your meals, prepare your meals, plan ahead. Um, Set it up that way, right? Set it up. You set up other things in your life. You pay your bills on time, so obviously you're capable of doing that. So uh, sometimes it helps to make a weekly shopping list, because that way you don't shop outside of what you're going to go shop for, right? Um, the biggest thing is to overindulge. And if you don't have a shopping list, it makes it tough, because then you're going down that aisle, right? And you're kind of looking around. And, oh my God, there's the Oreo cookies. I got to have a bag of Oreo cookies, right? So as you go through, you only pick what's on your list. Don't go off your list. And don't make your list when you're hungry. I'll tell you that too. Don't make a list when you're hungry, because you're going to make poor decisions. Um, let's see. Yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. I don't know how. I mean, I don't want to get too in depth in here, but I want to kind of give you guys an idea what's possible, right? I mean, I went from 230 pounds to 172 right now, and that's been a matter of probably 5, 6, 7. I'm trying 7 or 8 years maybe, because of the pandemic, right? But during the pandemic time, I mean, I started not taking care of myself. I couldn't go to the gym. I was still trying to walk my dogs most of the time when I could. But I didn't watch what I ate, and that's how I got those 20 pounds. But as soon as the Omicron left and wasn't as prominent as it was, I switched over and I went back to the gym and started working out again. Now I'm back down to almost my ideal weight pre-pandemic. I'm almost down to the 170. So um, if there's any questions, I have some of you guys here on Facebook, and I have some of you guys coming in on YouTube. But if there's questions, ask those questions now. I'll answer them. Otherwise, I'm gonna let you guys go and kind of log off. And I'd love you guys to, if you have questions after this, please DM me, send them in the chat. I'll be happy to answer any questions you guys have. Look, if I didn't have people tell me or help me through this weight loss program, oh my God, it would have been really, really tough. I did the intermittent fasting and I did all that research myself. Matter of fact, I was doing the intermittent fasting way before my roommate started and before it was popular, right? Before it was the trendy thing to do. I had done a lot of research. I read a lot of articles that doctors had written about intermittent fasting. And, it's interesting because my clients and doctors have told me this, that their clients do this as well. They'll say, oh, you know what? I can't fast because I have to take my medications. That lisinopril, that high blood pressure pill doesn't know whether you're taking the high blood pressure pill every day at noon or that you're taking it at 6 a.m. in the morning or at 9 a.m. in the morning. It doesn't know the difference. So talk to your doctor, but ask if I can take this at noon and just make 12 o'clock be the time that I actually eat. Is that gonna switch me out? Is that gonna help me? Is that gonna help me lose weight? Because now at lunchtime is going to be my first break fast, right? I mean, if you have other problems going on, you've got to talk to your doctor, because if there's other problems going on, maybe you can intermittent fast. Then what I would say is go ahead and go to the, smaller portions, use smaller plate, and then start really picking what you eat. Start eating healthy. Start eating, a salad first, all the time, a clear broth soup all the time before you go in to sit down at a restaurant or before you even start to eat at home. Make yourself some soup. Hold it in there. So hold it in your fridge for the week, and every day for that week before you have your dinner, you'll have yourself a bowl of soup, and then go in and start within a salad too. I mean, I want you to feel satiated. That's the biggest thing with my clients, is I don't want you guys to feel like you're starving yourself. And you may feel like that. You may feel like that during the beginning. But the hypnosis helps you get to that point where holding off until 12 o'clock isn't a big deal. We just have to get the mind in the right place, right? That's where the hypnosis and NLP comes into play. But you can do this without that. Depends how strong a will you have and how much you're willing to change yourself, because the hypnosis is a key. It's going to help you. It's not a miracle. Hypnosis works by your unconscious mind being reprogrammed so that your conscious mind can say, oh, okay, you know what? I don't want that double cheeseburger and those French fries and the Diet Coke because I had one yesterday. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a salad for lunch, and maybe I'm going to have some, I don't know. What could you have with that? Maybe you could have a chicken salad. Maybe you can put the chicken in the salad, right? Or go ahead and have 2 pieces of fried chicken, but have a big dinner salad. So that way what's happening is you're counterbalancing what you're eating. You're still eating healthy and you're staying within the calorie intake, right? So anyway, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. This live will be put onto YouTube as well. So if you guys want to join me at the YouTube channel, go ahead and check us out there. We're at Deeper States Mind and Wellness on YouTube. And stay tuned next Friday. I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but I'll figure it out. And hopefully you guys can join me. If you guys are watching the replay of this, join me live every Friday night at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Let's get this conversation going. And I know a lot of you have questions. A lot of you are failing at weight loss. I mean, a lot of you are trying and trying and trying and not going anywhere with it. Some of you are kicking ass and just need that little tiny bit more. I want this community to be for that. Or maybe you have somebody who's going through depression, anxiety. Get a hold of them. Let them know that we're doing these, and then they can go ahead and join us, and we can talk, and then we can try to hopefully help them and find out what's going on. I want to offer you guys the opportunity, which I do every night. If you guys click on the link below, it's going to take you over to our appointments for a strategy call. We do charge for our strategy call, but once should you be able to do a program with us, and it works for you and for me, I'll bring you on, and we'll give you that investment back. Towards your full investment. So anyway, I have this over on the ticker above, And on the bottom ticker is the ticker for you to join Facebook and be able to leave comments. So even if I'm not live, you can still go on here right before I go live and just go deeper. You could just go streamyard.com/Facebook, and that'll give you the permissions to allow you to go ahead and come on board with us and ask questions and enjoy the show. All right, you guys, thank you so much. I appreciate everything. You have a great night, and hey, have a great weekend. Go out there and make somebody else's life special. All right, thanks, guys.
I think these videos are brilliant, and I'm sure you will like them too. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification bell.